This is a short video to help you establish OKRs for your organization. What are OKRs? OKR stands for Objective and Key Results. It's a framework that's structured in a way to help you measure progress towards your strategic objectives, while establishing a continuous way of working to set higher performance benchmarks for results and motivate your team to try to achieve those. An objective could have many key results. An objective is a goal that helps inspire your teams and sets direction. A key result is steps towards the progress of achieving that goal. This is often accomplished through your projects and through your initiatives and your operational work that your team will conduct day to day in their everyday jobs. So this template helps you plan for your OKRs within an annual cycle and then within a quarterly cycle. So let's jump in and step through it. If you're new to OKRs and this is the first time your organization has used them, take a look at the details provided under some of these steps to help you get grounded in what OKRs are and how you can apply them for your organization. Think about how your organization works today and what's working and what's not working in those methods today. And think about the transparency and the priorities that you are setting for your organization and how those are being leveraged in everyday projects and everyday operational work. Where are the gaps? Where are the areas that you might like to improve? And how can you help your team set up a structure to be successful? So start with establishing the business case for the OKRs. There's quite a bit of information to consider here as you're working through this with your teams. So typically you would go through an annual planning cycle that would occur within the November-December timeframe, where you would outline what your OKRs should be for the year and work with your executive team to set the key priorities for the upcoming quarter. Typically, you would plan your OKRs on a quarterly basis and you would communicate the new OKRs a couple of weeks ahead of the quarter. As you're thinking about rolling this out to your organization, you'll want to come up with a communication and engagement plan for how you're going to bring your organization on board with the new OKRs and how you're going to be able to get feedback from them. So you conduct the annual planning first, then go through the planning for what the next 90 days looks like. I've included a lot of links in here with background and information that you can jump into to learn more about OKRs. And then think about starting simply. If this is the first time out the gate, then maybe just set priorities within your executive team and hold to those for the first 90 days and then roll out to pilot teams after the first 90 days. Take a stepping stone approach to rolling it out to your organization. So once you have scheduled your quarterly objectives, you want to communicate those with your teams and then have your teams build out their objectives. So this first setup phase steps you through how to get started and what are those steps that you need to do to get started. In the annual planning, you'll want to go back and revisit your organization's mission and maybe your core values and make sure that those are really clear for your organization. So this will give you some guidance around how to do that. Don't assume that your organization know what your mission is. This is a good time to clarify that mission for everyone and make sure that everybody's on the same page. So once you've done that, you can define your company level OKRs for the upcoming quarter. So you can actually come in here, create a project from this, and then you would go through and rename your OKRs to be really crisp in describing the objective that you want to achieve. And then you would outline how you're going to roll this out to your organization. What does that engagement look like? Do you have town halls? Does your executive team communicate this out? Can you send some emails out with consistent messaging, making sure that you're setting the context for why you're doing this, why now, and what's in it for your employees. How is this going to make their life easier? So like you would with any major initiative, you want to plan the organizational rollout and just consider the changes in behaviors that you want to see and how you can help support those changes in behaviors. When you get into quarterly planning, you can use this slice to define what your OKRs actually are. So you would come into each one of these objectives and rename them to be the actual OKRs that you want to achieve in this quarter. When you are using this in real time, working through your objectives, you would simply come in here and copy this box, create a new box for Q2, and then copy the objectives from Q1. Right here, you can copy these here into your second quarter and then adjust and configure your Q2 directives. And then once you've set your objectives for each quarter, you can come into this execution slice. You would update your objectives and outline what the key results are for each objective. Bearing in mind that an objective could have one or more key results. And here you're going to be really clear about what are the steps that are needed to execute the objective and what are those key results that you want to measure. So if your objective is to increase revenue, then your key result might be to sell more services to existing clients, or it may be to sell more of your products, or maybe it's to obtain 3 clients within the next quarter. So be careful about using words like more. Try to be really tangible, as in I am going to have 10 sales conversations. We are going to execute 3 new client conversions on a weekly basis. We are going to have 50 new users use our SaaS system. Benchmarks that you can actually measure against. So once you've set up your objectives here and set up your key results, your team can then link their projects to those objectives. So if you're using Pi to manage your projects, for instance, you can come into the project dashboard, set a tag for your key results, and sort your project dashboard to see which projects are in progress right now related to a given objective, and you can track your progress on those projects. So here, as you achieve each one of the key results, you're going to want to celebrate that with your team and move it into the complete bucket for that quarter. And then at the end of the quarter, you will want to conduct a retrospective with your team. Particularly if you're rolling this out for the first time, you want to really engage your teams in what's working, what's not working, and refine the process for your organization. So bring your employees in, have a conversation around how this felt for them, what worked well, what didn't work so well, is there anything you should start or stop or continue, and identify how you want to improve. And then you would work as a team to create your next quarter's OKRs, and then come back through the quarterly planning cycle here, create those, and then use these to execute those. So this is a very simple template. It is meant to get you up and running pretty quickly. Trying not to overthink it. Think about a prototype mode where you are creating a minimal viable product. You want to get your organization motivated and centered around your highest priorities as an organization, and make sure they're working on the right work and not just busy work. We see a massive gap between strategy and execution, and we see teams being very, very busy trying to get a lot of work done, but it's not necessarily work that's going to move their organization forward towards their mission and really accomplish that mission. So the OKR process is a way to try and bring the organization together, making sure that there's clarity around the real top priorities for the organization and the work that's needed to accomplish those, and really putting the team's time and focus behind those. So try it out, let me know what you think, and good luck with your OKR planning process.